Picture your life exactly 10 years ago. You remember the rooms you sat in, the conversations you had, the fears you felt. Because those memories connect, it feels like you are the continuous protagonist of that story, traveling forward through time. We rely on this feeling. We assume memory works like a secure hard drive, pulling up perfectly preserved recordings to stitch our past to our present. But the human brain does not retrieve memories. It rebuilds them from scratch. Every time you recall an event, the memory splinters. As it rebuilds, it pulls in data from who you are today. A new emotion slips in, a detail fades, the context shifts. Ultimately, your current mind has overwritten the old event. The person you are right now is reaching back and editing the story of the person you were. When our primary tool for proving who we were is constantly editing its own records, our assumption of being the exact same person over a decade becomes increasingly difficult to verify. This turnover extends straight down into your physical body. Through neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire its own physical structure, your neural hardware stays in a constant state of turnover to ensure survival. The brain you had 10 years ago was physically wired around an older version of your daily life. When you stop repeating a habit, the neural connections supporting it weaken and eventually disappear. In their place, new physical pathways are constructed to support the routines you execute today. A different environment or a new set of daily anxieties trains your nervous system to fire off different reactions than it did a decade ago. The rest of the body follows suit. Your skin renews itself, your blood regenerates. Over time, portions of your skeletal structure are broken down and replaced. The body operates as a city under endless active construction. Every structure eventually undergoes maintenance or replacement, yet the map remains the same. The cells and synapses that walked around as you 10 years ago are largely gone. Human identity cannot be rooted in biological sameness because the material itself has already moved on. If the physical material is replaced, why do you look in the mirror and insist you are looking at the exact same person? Psychologists point to our drive for narrative. We have a deep need to impose cause and effect onto a chaotic reality, organizing random experiences into a chronological story to generate meaning. But lived experience rarely follows a clean script. Identity is often shaped by invisible edits, a sudden failure, a move, or a loss that divides your timeline into a distinct before and after. The retroactive meaning you assign to those events is what shifts your internal priorities. Two people can endure the same loss, but interpret it in opposite ways, leading them down different psychological paths. Because your interpretations of life keep evolving, those older versions of yourself begin to fade. Eventually, the person you were 10 years ago starts feeling like a close acquaintance you once knew. Think of a river. It maintains a recognizable shape and a specific name, even though the actual water entirely cycles out minute by minute. Human identity operates on this principle. There's a distinction between sameness, keeping identical parts, and continuity, sustaining an ongoing, recognizable process. Yet we often resist this turnover. We fear outgrowing an old version of ourselves, viewing change as a form of betrayal. In reality, an unchanging identity over a decade is not a badge of loyalty. It is a failure to pay attention to the alterations life demands. The process never stops. The version of you that will exist 10 years from now is being edited by the small choices you make today. A habit you repeat, a conversation you dodge, a fear you avoid facing. Identity is not a final state you uncover and preserve. It is an ongoing draft that we keep writing, often without realizing it, which means the most useful question isn't whether you are still the same person you used to be. The real question is whether the person you are becoming is someone your past self would understand, and someone your future self will ultimately thank.